Wouldn't it be better if you put her someplace?
You mean an institution? A madhouse? People always call a madhouse someplace, don't they? Put her in someplace.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to sound uncaring.
What do you know about caring? Have you ever seen the inside of one of those places? The laughing and the tears, and the cruel eyes studying you. My mother there. But she's harmless. She's as harmless as one of those stuffed birds.
I am sorry. I only felt... It seems she's hurting you. I meant well.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues and shake their heads and suggest oh so very delicately. Of course, I've suggested it myself. But I hate to even think about it. She needs me.
And welcome to the Ancient Slumber podcast, show number 16. My name is Chris Ward, and as ever, I am joined by Mr. Myron Schmidt. How you doing, Myron?
Good. How are you, Chris?
Oh, I'm very well. I'm just trying to get past all these technical gremlins we're having today.
One of those days, brother. One of those days.
It's one of those days. It's been final week, the second I go to record, and it all goes to shit.
We haven't been together in a while.
Ooh, not like that.
Yeah.
No, we've had a few weeks off. We've had a bit of a break.
So what have you been up to?
Oh, well, I've been on holiday. I've been over to France. I've watched loads of films. That's it, really, and working hard.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So what you been doing?
Oh, about the same old stuff, watching movies, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Oh, and a little bit of the other.
Exactly.
Oh.
I've spent a lot of time listening to podcasts lately, though.
Have you now?
I have. I don't know why.
Because they're entertaining and they're fun?
That's right.
Unlike us?
That's right. I mean, look at it this way. We got our friend Gore Blimey.
Oh, yes.
Starting out with Trilogy of Terror.
Yeah.
We got Strange and Deadly firing up.
Oh, yes.
We got Duncan and his crazy crew over at Podcast Under the Stairs.
Duncan Baz.
That's... I know, right?
I know.
We got Duncan firing off Chronicle Podcast.
Yeah, they're good, them, aren't they?
Yeah, they are good. They're short, they're quick, they're good.
Yeah, they're good to sort of listen to on my break at work or whatever.
Exactly. We got Dan and Gav cutting it up at House on Haunted Hill podcast.
Oh, yes.
We got, who's it? Gil and Roscoe over at the Bodacious podcast or Bodacious Horror podcast.
Bodacious. I just think of Bill and Ted when I hear that.
Have you ever listened to those two crazy bastards?
I haven't actually. They're not one of my regular ones, but I shall make a note of it.
You should. I'm not sure where they're from. I think they might be from Scotland.
Never mind.
It's Gil and Roscoe's Bodacious Horror podcast.
Yeah, cool. Oh, well, if we're giving shout-outs to people...
Absolutely.
I'm going to give a shout-out to Ben and Dan over at Streampunk as well.
Really? I've not listened to them.
Ah, whoa. Did you used to listen to Mondo Movie?
No, never.
Oh, you're missing a treat. Oh, well, yeah. You'll have to get invested in them, yeah. Great podcast. Mondo Movie was sort of the cult horror exploitation podcast in the 2000s. They went away and they've come back with Streampunk and they go through films that are on, like streaming services and stuff.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, I got to get in on that action.
Get in on some of that, yeah. Yeah, Dan O.T. and Ben Howard. Great podcasters.
Where are they from?
England. Although Ben lives in San Francisco now, I think.
Okay. But yeah, I've been, and also been doing a little bit of Hero Ghost show with Bo Ransdell.
Oh, okay.
That one specializes solely in A-horror, so.
In what?
A-horror.
Oh, I thought you said A-holes.
Well, never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been really listening to a lot of podcasts lately, getting ideas for movies to watch and having a good laugh.
Oh, good stuff. We're all one big podcasting family.
Yes, exactly.
We're the little gingerhead stepchildren.
That's right.
Yes.
But you are going to hear me talk a little bit more about Dan and Gav, especially Gav later on.
Oh, yeah.
From the House on Haunted Hill podcast.
Yes. Okay, well, I shall look forward to that. Right, so today's itinerary is we're going to look at the Psycho franchise.
Yes, we are.
We're going to look at the 4 Anthony Perkins films. We'll give a little look at the remake. We're not going to go into too much detail. And we've also got a quick review of the Microwave Massacre Blu-ray from Arrow Video.
Yes, we do.
And I'm fucking looking forward to that because I know what you think.
Oh, dear God. I'm only doing that because I like you.
Fuck knows why.
Sweet baby. Jesus, what a horrible... Never mind. Let's just go on.
We're going to fall out, we are. Anyway.
Do something over that movie. God almighty.
Right, before we delve into that den of sin, we will do a little bit of good, bad, and ugly.
Let's do it. I gotta say, I've got a few goods, bads, and uglies. Because, I've watched a lot of movies, right?
Yeah, I've watched a few. So, yeah, we'll name a few. Why not?
Well, I will kick off because I know very well you don't take notes.
No, so you better do that.
And you're desperately trying to get your damn letterbox open.
It's open. My letterbox is open and ready for perusal.
But the first one is one that you recommended, as well as a bunch of other people.
Mm-hmm.
Is a Turkish film called Basket.
Oh, yes.
Loved this movie.
Mm.
Right now, it's my top number 1 horror for the year.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's in my list, but it's not that high up. But yeah.
It's what I like about it's a thinking person's horror.
Yes.
Open to interpretation. You could take a completely one look approach or another look approach. It makes you think, and I love it when horror movies make you think.
Really? Why don't you try watching some then instead of that found footage shit?
Hey. But yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I absolutely loved Basket.
Yes, I reviewed that for Flickering Myth.
Excellent.
A few weeks ago, yes. I'd give it a good mark if I remember correctly.
I'm definitely a 5 out of 5 on that, man.
I don't think I was quite that high, but I did enjoy it.
Excellent.
Good. Right. Oh, I'm just having a look through. Oh, well, there's one. You might think I'm a bit late to the party on this one, but I watched Vanishing Point.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the 1971 film.
Is that the first time?
Yes, surprisingly, because I love a road movie, especially a 70s road movie, and I'd never seen this one.
Very cool.
So I bought a copy for about £2 off Amazon Markets, and I sat and watched it, and I fucking loved it. It just ticked all the boxes for me. Big muscle cars, naked women, bikers, hippies, drugs, the whole lot. It was there. It was brilliant. Loved it.
Was Pam Grier there?
She's not in that one.
Oh, well.
No.
Can't get it right all the time.
No, but there was a nice naked hippie chick riding around the desert on a motorbike, so that's just... just encapsulate that little scene. That's what's in my head all the time anyway. So.
Oh, God help us
all. Oh, yes.
Oh. Isn't it great, though, to discover movies like that you've never seen before?
Yeah, it's one of those films, I know about it. It's one of the classics, really, and I've heard it referenced so many times, Rob Zombie and Quentin Tarantino that always reference it, and I've just never seen it.
I think that's what I find so funny about the Baz.
Oh, yeah.
He said he's not seen a lot of these horror movies. And they're movies that we've seen, hundreds of times? Not hundreds, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's just funny it's not funny, but it's fun to hear somebody's first time take on some of these movies that we can never recapture that first time viewing.
Well, I think that's why he normally ends up preferring the remakes to the originals, isn't it? Because we've grown up with them and we saw them first, sort of thing.
I think you're right.
So I think that's probably key to a lot of it.
But it's fun to hear that kind of an opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes gives you a different spin on what you already think you know.
Exactly.
So go on then, hit us with another good one if you got one.
I do. This is a weird one. It's an American movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was shot in country. I didn't do that much research.
Oh, damn you.
But it's one that's been around a while. You guys got a release first, and ours.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah, we just got a Blu-ray come out this week, I think, or last week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Eli Roth Presents Clown. Absolutely love this one, too.
I don't think we've got a Blu-ray. I think we just got a DVD over here.
Oh, really? No, I got the Blu-ray.
I believe. I haven't got the notes up, but no, we had the DVD last year.
It's absolute crazy batshit mythology about clowns. It's well executed, well told, well paced. It was way more than I expected.
Yeah.
And I think I've come to the opinion that we're going to talk a little bit about, in a bad movie, other things.
Yeah.
But I think Eli Roth should not direct anymore and should just produce.
Interesting.
He's got an eye for good movies.
Yeah.
He just can't make them, I don't think.
Ooh, controversial. So you're writing off Cabin Fever and Hostel, are you?
Cabin Fever's okay.
Yeah.
Hostel, I can take it or leave it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think, they're not groundbreaking or anything like that. I mean, they're all right.
No, they're not groundbreaking, but they're solid enough.
Yeah, they're solid.
No.
But,
Okay.
that's just one American idiot's thought.
Well, there's a lot of competition for that title.
Do you know who Donald Trump, our current idiot-in-chief, had next to him on the stage? Take
Nigel
a guess.
Farage.
Oh, my God.
I saw the pictures. Fucking hell.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
I turned on the TV and I see the idiot from the UK over here next to our idiot. Oh,
Yeah.
my God. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that's a meeting of minds, isn't it?
oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you can keep him if you want. You can have him and Piers.
No.
Fuck off over there.
Take him back.
No. Thing is, he's probably similar to the way Trump is over. He's popular over here with a certain demographic.
Of course he is.
Mm.
I can tell you your demographic.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's the Nigel Farage demographic.
Yeah. Shame he's never actually been voted in to win anything, though, isn't it? Yeah, he seems to
Yeah.
pop up everywhere.
I know.
Anyway, other people can do the politics better than us.
Yeah.
So I shall continue. Anything else to say on clowns?
No, just that I really enjoyed it. Just like, to me, it just was didn't take itself seriously, straightforward, fun movie.
Okay. Another good one for me is Vampires. Not the John Carpenter one.
Okay?
This is from 1974. It's Vampires with a Y, not an I.
Okay?
I watched it because I'm about to review the remake. There's a remake of it which is out in a couple of weeks here.
Okay.
So I went back and rewatched the original. I love this film. It's total 70s, post-Hammer, gothic, glamour, lesbian vampires. Nudity, sex, blood. It's all up on there. It's where Hammer stopped, this film starts.
Gotcha.
I just fucking love it. It's great.
Yeah, it sounds like your movie, to be honest.
Yeah. It's not just the nudity either, even though that does help, obviously.
Well, never hurts.
But no, I mean, just the cinematography. There's lots of shots of old churches and fog-bound cemeteries and all that sort of stuff. It all just works. It's just brilliant.
Excellent.
Just love it.
That's fantastic.
It is. I'll probably watch the remake tonight, actually, and I'm not really looking forward to it.
Hey, you never know.
Well, I've heard a few things.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but there we go. Keep your eyes peeled for flickering myth over the next few weeks. Hear my thoughts.
Gotcha. My next good is by a guy that I'm really now a huge fan of. Director called Joe Begos. He did, a couple of years ago, he did a movie called Almost Human.
Oh, right, yes.
I love that movie.
Okay.
And so when I found out he was doing another movie, been waiting, finally popped up on early release VOD, and it is The Mind's Eye. It is a 80s telekinetic killer movie in all of its wonderful glory.
Lovely. Don't know that one.
Yep. All the effects are practical. It's wonderful. It's a well-told story, well-produced story, well-written story. I am really digging what Joe is doing. I'll tell you that. That's, he is one that whenever I hear that name come up, I'm buying his movies.
Fair enough.
Yep. And he does practical effects too. And they're really good.
You sound surprised. People can still do them.
They can, but they usually don't. opt in for CGI, but he has found a way to do practical effects that work within his smaller budgets. This film doesn't have a huge budget. It doesn't need to have a budget. It's got great acting and a great story.
That's all you need most of the time.
Absolutely. It's great. If you want to, delve a little bit into him, I would suggest, listening to Duncan over Podcast Under the Stairs did about a half-hour interview with Joe Bagos, and it was really interesting.
Yes, I think I have that on my iPod somewhere.
Yeah, you should give it a listen. Give it a listen.
Okay, I will.
But really, I've just become a huge Joe Bagos fan, so.
Lovely.
Great movie. Chris, I think you'll like it.
Oh, well, yeah, you say that a lot.
Well, but, when I actually think you'll like something, I've got a decent track record, not 100%, but I've got a decent one.
Well, you'll like my next good one.
What's that?
It's one that you've referenced a few times, so I know you like it. This was a first watch for me, and it is Grizzly.
Oh!
Yes! I actually picked this up in France when I was on holiday.
Really? The
Yes.
1970s Animal Gone Wild film.
That's the one. I was in a shop in France. It was one of these movie poster shop things, and they just had a little stand at the front with some DVDs and Blu-rays in, and I found this on Blu-ray for €5.
Man, you can't beat that with a stick.
Yeah, which is about sort of £4, something like that. I've actually looked up on Amazon Markets the same Blu-ray, and it's like £33 on Amazon.
I think it's because it's out of print.
Yeah, it's out of print. But it's a French edition, obviously, but you just turn the subtitle things off and whatever.
Man, how cool is that?
Yeah, so I picked it up. I watched it. I love a 70s creature feature. Never seen this one before. Yeah, I thought it was great fun.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is.
Christopher George playing a half-decent guy for a change instead of the villain. But he seems to have a smile on his face. You look at him, you're thinking, you're really holding that smile and you just want to twat somebody with your gun, don't you? He's very nice. He's a nice guy. But yeah, the height of the bear seems to change throughout the film.
Well,
it's even referenced on the cover of the Blu-ray that it's supposed to be 18 feet, and then I think in the film he says it's 15 feet, and someone says it's 13 feet, and I don't know.
Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah, it's great. It's that sort of post-Jaws, nature gone wild, in the same vein as Day of the Animals and Orca Killer Whale and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, great fun. Loved it.
Have you ever seen a movie called Char, C-H-A-W?
No.
It's an Asian horror film. Dude, if you love animal movies, Char is about a gigantic wild boar that terrorizes people. Dude, you gotta get into that action.
Bit like Razorback.
No, it's a bit like Jaws.
All right.
If you were to take Jaws, move it on land, put it in an Asian movie, and use wild boar instead of a shark, that's what it is.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's good stuff right there.
I'll make a note of that.
Hey, I hear you guys are getting Shudder over in the UK.
Yes. I haven't looked into it too much, but I've seen the headlines on Twitter and that, so yeah.
That's great. I actually watched Char on Shudder. So.
Oh, well, if I subscribe, I shall make a note of it. Right then, any more good, or do you want to move on to some bad?
I've got one more good.
Go on then.
It is a found footage movie. Just pause.
For fuck's sake.
Just stop. It's a micro budget found footage movie.
They all fucking are.
No. This one was, dude, I'm telling you, this one was even better. But this was actually a comedy horror, and it was done by Gav, a.k.a. Gav from Dan and Gav at House on Haunted
Your
Hill.
new best friend.
My new buddy.
Yeah.
But, it was funny. I laughed through the whole movie. He's got great chemistry, and maybe it helped that I've listened to their podcast, so I kind of already find them funny. But
what was the film called?
It's called Preternatural.
Preternatural.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny. They're kind of making fun of themselves trying to make a found footage cheap ass movie, and they get wound up with some fairies, and it ends up having kind of a movie within a movie within a movie kind of thing, and it's well done. I think what I liked about it is they don't overextend themselves. They realize they're on a micro budget. They don't try and make these weird big special effects. A lot of the movie just plays on interactions of the actors and characters.
Okay.
Ends up being a nice movie. Sure, it's never going to win an Academy Award, but damn, I laughed for a couple of hours and enjoyed myself. It's really only about an hour and 10 minutes, but
But you laughed for a couple of hours anyway.
You know what I'm saying. I really enjoyed it. They are definitely making fun of themselves, and it was just a quirky, fun movie.
Where did you see it?
I'd known that Gavin told me that he had done it.
Yeah.
And then he tweeted me he Facebooked me the link.
Okay.
It's on, actually you can get it on, what is it called? Vimeo?
Vimeo.
Yeah, you can purchase it on there.
Oh, okay.
You know, I like found footage movies, so it was my thing, but it was just, I don't know, it was more than that. It was just a well executed little fun comedy movie of two filmmakers making fun of themselves for trying to do a crappy movie. And it had some good scares in it, and it had a great story, so.
Well, there you go. As long as you're happy.
Well done, Gav and Dixon.
Well, he's got more films out there than we have, so there you go.
That's right.
I'll mention one more good then, just for the sake of balance. Bit of an obvious one, really, if you listen to the Strange and Deadly show. Werewolf Woman.
Really?
Yeah, I supplied Strange and Deadly with a copy on DVD. I went and bought it on Blu-ray.
Really?
Yes.
That good, huh?
Yeah, well, I haven't watched it for a long, long time, and I rewatched it to provide feedback for their show, and then I thought, this film's, again, it just ticks the boxes for me. So, yeah, I went and bought the Blu-ray. I spoke to Daniel from Made for TV Mayhem, and he said, yeah, you really should get the Blu-ray. So I did.
Okay.
And, yeah, fantastic. You know, woman, werewolf, tits, lots of nudity. Fantastic.
Ticks the boxes right there.
Ticks the boxes. I'm not going to say any more. You want to listen to bigger review, go listen to Strange and Deadly's latest show.
There you go. Cheers.
And you'll hear my dulcet tones on there as well. Because I like to invade them every now and again.
There you go.
Right, let's do some bad. Give us a bad one.
Let's do some bad. Bad one. Remember I said how much I enjoyed Clown and that Eli Roth should consider just finding good movies and scripts and just producing them rather than actually helming a director thing?
Yeah.
Bad movie, Green Inferno. Yuck. Hated it.
Ooh.
Hated the story. Hated the ending. Forget about it.
Well, we're going to fall out then.
Come on. Seriously?
I quite like the Green Inferno.
Dude.
What?
What part? What about it did you like?
Cannibals. I like cannibal films.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So there you go. Yes, it's dumb. I mean, the guy in the corner wanking and all that sort of stuff. I mean, what's that all about? But I think...
Yeah, exactly.
I think, Eli Roth's never been quiet in his love for Cannibal Holocaust, so I can see exactly what he was doing and why he included a lot of the things he did. I reviewed this for Fright Fest when it came out, actually. But yeah, I think it's fine. I don't think it's brilliant, but I think it's, for a modern cannibal film, it's better than shit like Welcome to the Jungle, which was an hour and a half of people wandering around with cameras and looking at nothing. So it's got gore, it's got cannibals. Yeah, it's dumb, but there you go. It's Eli Roth. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think
you know what?
If you're not tutored in the old cannibal films in the 70s and 80s, then I think you wouldn't get a lot from it anyway.
No, you won't.
No.
But the other thing is, I didn't like the ending. I thought the ending sucked. I thought it was a stupid ending.
I can't remember, to be honest. I haven't watched it since I reviewed it.
All right. Well, see. Hey, maybe you didn't like it as much as you thought.
No, I just ain't got fucking time. I will watch it again. I've got it on Blu-ray.
Hell, I'm glad I didn't buy it on Blu-ray. I thought about it.
Well, I've got a review disc and I bought it. I'm a sucker for a cannibal film.
There you go. Give us a bad. Give us a bad. Give us a bad.
Oh, I've got a bad one here. I don't know if you've seen this one. It's called Dead Time Stories, Volume 1.
I have it on DVD.
Have you watched it?
Yes.
Oh, right.
But it's been a while, Chris, so I really couldn't tell you if I like it or not.
Yeah, it was going to be a fucking while till I watch it again. I tell you that. Yeah, the full title's probably George Romero Presents Dead Time Stories Volume 1.
Yes.
I don't think they showed him the film, the anthology stories that are in this before he signed on to it. Because if he did, he would not have put his name to this. This is absolute shite. I picked this up on video when I was on holiday in France. Not on video, on DVD when I was in France. For about €3, which is about £2. So I haven't lost too much on it. But yeah, 3 stories, all introduced by George Romero. Shit CGI effects. The only redeeming feature is the last stories, directed by Tom Savini.
Give me the titles of the 3 stories.
I don't have them to hand, to be honest.
Okay. Give me the synopsis of the Savini one.
It's to do with It's called House Call, actually, that one. I do remember
Okay.
that. And it's about a doctor called into a farmhouse. I presume it's 19th century or something like that, to diagnose some kid who's got this, he's gone weird, but he turns out to be a vampire.
God, it's been so long since I've seen that. Yeah, I've actually got a volume 2 as well. I think I paid like $3 used for them.
Yeah, I don't think I'll probably go to volume 2, because this one was just shit. It made Creepshow 3 look fucking masterful.
Oh dear God help us. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, 1-star film, absolute garbage. Romero, what are you doing?
So my next bad is a movie called The Rambler. Have you seen this one?
The Rambler. No.
Some quiet drifter leaves prison and then he encounters all these weird people on the road.
No, don't ring a
Okay.
bell.
It's not a very non-linear, it's a non-linear story.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I don't do well with those, but I absolutely was so bored, so lost, it didn't care through this entire movie that it just absolutely did nothing for me.
Okay.
I just couldn't get on with it. You know, maybe people who dig kind of weird non-linear stories might really like it, but it just, for me, just did nothing. I couldn't get excited about it. I was kind of hoping everybody in the movie would die except for the guy's brother, because he was just a tangential character that was a nice guy.
Right.
Everybody else could have died, and that would have made a happy ending for me.
Oh, didn't enjoy that one then.
No.
Never heard of that one. But there we go. Sorry, I'm just typing something. Yep, right. Another bad one for me. Basic Instinct 2.
Why did you watch that?
Because I've got the 2 DVD set of 1 and 2. And I rewatched the first one, because I like the first one.
It's alright. It's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I watched it to death in the 90s, and it's been a few years, and I picked up this DVD for under £2, and it's got both films in it. So, and I put on the second one, which I had seen before, but I couldn't remember it. Yeah, I won't be watching it again. It's fucking bad. Talk about missed the point. Sharon Stone is just doing a complete parody of what she did in the first one.
Really?
Yeah. Almost, think Hannibal, not Hannibal, think Anthony Hopkins in Hannibal, how he sort of sent Hannibal Lecter over the top.
Yep.
When you compare it to Silence of the Lambs, it's like that, but worse.
I've never seen Hannibal.
Have you not?
Yep. I won't watch it.
Oh, you're one of them, are you?
I read the book. I waited 10 years for this book.
Right.
I loved Red Dragon.
Yeah.
I loved Silence of the Lambs. Waited 10 years for Hannibal to come out. 10 years. I went out and bought it the week it was released on a Friday. I read it Friday, Saturday night when I finished. I threw the book across the room and said this was the biggest load of crap I'd ever read in my life. I have never read another Thomas Harris book since. That's not true. I did read Hannibal Rising, and it was as bad or worse than Hannibal.
Would it make any difference if I told you the film of Hannibal doesn't end the same way as the book?
No.
Oh, right.
No.
Well, that's a shame, because somebody has asked us to do the Hannibal Lecter films.
I will be happy to do it, but I will, for the first time in my life, watch it. But that means we'll do what? Manhunter, Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, and Hannibal Rising.
Yeah.
5 movies?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I'll do it.
Okay, well, it is on the list.
No. I mean, absolutely. If people want us to do that kind of stuff, I will sit down and I will watch it.
Okay.
I mean, I like looking at Juliette Lewis. I'm down with that.
Right, okay. Back to Basic Instinct 2. Yeah, it's shit. Yeah, she's doing a parody. David Morrissey's in the Michael Douglas role. David Morrissey's one of those actors, I just don't get why he keeps getting work. To me, he's like the British equivalent of Jai Courtney. You just think, why? Why? Who are you appealing to here?
Yeah.
You know, if I want to look at wood, I'll go down the fucking DIY shop. I'm not watching this shit. I don't get it. Charlotte Rampling's in it as well, slumming it for some reason. I don't know why. Because I like Charlotte Rampling, but...
I gotcha.
Yeah, bad film. I get the feeling it was a script meant for something else, and it got shaped into a Basic Instinct thing, you know, like those Hellraiser sequels.
Yeah.
I think that's the case. It's just bad.
I gotcha.
Even Body of Evidence is better than that.
That's saying something, buddy.
Well, yeah, at least you can laugh at Body of Evidence.
Yes.
There we go. Any more bad, or should we do some ugly?
I only have one ugly.
Okay.
Now, this is yes, it's a found footage. Please sigh. Get it out of the way.
Fuck me. Yeah, no.
All right. This one is called, it's pronounced Sandman, but it's S, the and sign, man. Begins with this guy's obsession with fetish films like Peeping Tom
Yeah.
and over-the-top gore. It's not a bad concept. And then, of course, one of the people that he's researching is actually a killer, and he kills his girlfriend. Everybody saw that coming. Not a bad concept, but when you gotta put people like the folks who did August Underground as repeated characters in your movie,
Oh, fuck that, yeah.
you have really missed the boat.
Yeah.
This guy went, I think maybe he was trying to go full on sleaze, but
Yeah,
Have you ever
missed
seen
it.
Have you ever seen August Underground?
I've seen one of them, yeah. It was utter shite.
I made it through like 15 minutes and said, you know what? This
Yeah.
is just stupid.
Yeah.
God almighty.
I don't know who that's trying to appeal to. Yeah.
It just went, it was a decent idea, but then it just got worse and worse. It fell off the rails and just,
Okay.
it was just an ugly movie.
An ugly movie. Okay.
I liked Green Inferno more than this.
Well, there you go. Why didn't you put that one in the bad one then, and Green Inferno in the ugly?
Because this is both bad and ugly.
Okay. Yeah, Green Inferno isn't ugly. It does look good, doesn't it? Nice colours.
Oh God, are you kidding me? It's gorgeous shooting.
Mm.
I mean, have you seen like the countryside of the way he set up the shots and the natives? And oh man, it was all great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm winning you round on it.
No, but I agree with you on that.
Right then. My ugly is a surprising one, really. It is Batman, The Killing Joke.
Why is that ugly to you?
Because they totally missed the fucking point of the graphic novel.
Do tell, please.
I love, as you know, I'm a huge Batman fan.
Yes.
I love the Killing Joke graphic novel. It's probably my favourite one. But it is...
I've got it in hardcover. I'm looking at it right now on my shelf.
Yeah. It's probably the most problematic one to make into a film because it's so short. Because you can read it in about 20 minutes.
Right.
So, yeah, when they said they were making it, it was like, oh, okay. You got Mark Hamill back as the Joker. You got Kevin Conroy as Batman. So you got the dream team there.
Right.
But they've padded it out. You could chop the first half an hour off this and it makes no difference whatsoever.
I gotcha. Okay.
They've padded it out with this ridiculous Batgirl story. I know why it's there, but it's a long-winded way of setting her up as a character we're supposed to feel sorry for later on. Once the actual Killing Joke stuff does start, it follows the graphic novel fairly closely, but because you've had to sit through half an hour of complete bullshit to start with, you just don't really care.
Gotcha.
There's a couple of lines in there which aren't in the book, which they've put in, which make Batman come across as really sappy towards the end. Hey, we can work together and we can figure out what's wrong with you. Fuck off. Just nick him. Send him to the asylum. That's what the Killing Joke's about.
Yep.
They put all this fucking goody shite in at the end. Yeah, I just think they missed the boat on it completely. The animation isn't brilliant. Not really when you consider what some of the other animated films that have come out recently are like.
Right.
The voice work's good. Hamill and Conroy nail it again, as always. But yeah, missed opportunity. Really disappointing. Just say I've put it in ugly because I wanted so much from this and it just didn't deliver at all.
Gotcha. Yeah, I really enjoyed the graphic novel. I will say that.
Yeah, and they seem to have taken the colour scheme from the reissue. The hardback edition that you've got is a reprint. If you've got the original paperback edition, it's a lot more colourful.
I did not know that it was a reprint.
Yes. Yeah, the original paperback version is got the original colour scheme. It's really bright and quite vibrant all the way through.
Now this one's not.
Yeah, and that's the colour scheme that the film's taken, the darker one.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
So it's not great looking animation. Yeah, it's just I gave it 2 stars on Letterbox.
Wow.
The voice works good. And there are a couple of bits in it, that they copied from the book, which are good, but generally just fell way short.
Gotcha.
So there you go.
I think we've watched our share of movies over our hiatus.
We have filling those summer holidays with some movie watching. Why not? That's what they're there for.
That's exactly right.
Right, then. Well, shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Let's move on to 1960s Psycho.
Here we have a quiet little motel, when in fact it has now become known as the scene of the crime.
You have a vacancy?
Oh, we have 12 vacancies.
Now, Isn't this the first place it looks like it's hiding from the world?
I think that we're all in our private traps, clamped in them. And none of us can ever get out.
Is anyone at home?
Oh, that must be my mother.
Is anything wrong?
Am I acting as if there's something wrong?
She's not missing so much as she's run away.
Put me down. Mother! Oh, God! Mother!
What are you running away from?
She looked like a wrong one to you?
It's not as if she were a maniac. She just goes a little mad sometimes.
Why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Right then. Psycho, 1960, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Anthony Perkins, Janet Leigh, Vera Miles, Martin Balsam, John McIntyre, Simon Oakland, and Vaughn Taylor. Right then, you got a synopsis?
Phoenix secretary embezzles $40,000 from her employer's client, goes on the run, checks into a remote motel run by a young man under the domination of his mother.
Oh, you read that off the same page I'm looking at.
IMDb.
Yeah, we did. Right then, so.
Written by, based on a novel by Robert Bloch, and
yes,
there actually is a trilogy of Bloch novels. Psycho 1, Psycho 2, and I can't remember the third one.
Psycho 3?
No, it's not. It's like Psycho Amusement Park or Psycho Motel. I don't know.
Yeah. I've never read them. I've read Psycho 2 many, many years ago.
I did a long time ago. I was going to read them for this show, and then time got away from me.
But you couldn't be asked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, the first one follows the book. It paces pretty well. Mm-hmm. I know the second one is completely different than the book, and the third one is, how I feel about Psycho. 5-star movie. It's been talked about so much. There is nothing that I can remotely add to the discussion.
Yeah, a bit like when we did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a film that's been dissected and spoken about and written about so much. We're not going to bring anything new to this debate, really. But yeah, it's a 5-star film to me. It's Anthony Perkins, to me, is just, he is Norman Bates. In the same way, people gone about, when they recast a character, like they recast Freddy Krueger, and you go, oh, Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. Yeah, but I quite like Jackie Earle Haley in certain bits. I don't think there's ever been another Norman Bates apart from Anthony Perkins for me.
I don't know if you could. I mean, you could try.
No, we'll get into that a little bit later on with some of the sort of extra stuff. But, yeah, this wasn't the first Psycho film that I saw. So, consequently, I'm going to say I don't have that nostalgic feel for this one as I do for one of the other films in the series.
Okay.
But I think on a technical level, yes, this is 5-star filmmaking. You really can't fault this film in any way, shape or form.
Nope.
There's such a big history in the actual making of the film with various sources. You can look online and see all these things, how they were done and that. But it's perfectly paced. The acting is spot on. The characters are so well written. The dialogue is perfect. Like I say, Anthony Perkins, he dominates the film, even though he doesn't come into it for sort of the first, 25, 30 minutes, something like that?
Something like that. Well, I mean, it's, they got to have the whole embezzlement and affair thing going on. And
that's it, yeah.
You
set out those characters, she steals the money, she stops in the Bates Motel, and, it goes from there. Things escalate. There is the only criticism I've ever seen labelled at it, and I suppose, you could say that, is the ending when the psychiatrist is sort of telling you everything that's happened.
Right.
And it is a little bit, like he's, reading it out of a book, Exposition 101.
Right.
But, I would just put that in, and that's filmmaking at the time, really. Audiences may not have been so savvy to that sort of thing as we are nowadays. That's all. There is a call for this. I've heard people call this, the granddaddy of slasher movies. I don't think that's the case, but I think there are elements here that we'll obviously use later on in things like Halloween, which Carpenter picked up on.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this is to slasher movies what I would say, you know, the MC5 were to punk rock, you know, not directly the same, but there's an influence there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, to me, Psycho is just, it's one of the classics, you know, what can I say? It's 5 stuffed birds out of 5.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like we're underselling this, really, because we're not talking about it a lot, but there's nothing else you can say.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You know, Tom Elliott from Strange and Deadly said essentially the same thing. I just can't say anything more about it.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to something that we can discuss a little bit more.
How about 1983 Psycho 2, Chris?
Well, yeah, let's play a trailer.
I have a petition here signed by 743 people against Norman Bates' release.
Madam, please sit down. This matter is being represented by the district attorney.
Norman was not convicted of murder. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Don't you realize they're going to release a homicidal maniac?
You to sit down, Mrs. Loomis.
It's all too obvious. Our courts protect the criminals, not their victims.
Norman Bates is judged, restored to sanity, and is ordered released forthwith.
It's 22 years later, and Norman Bates is coming home.
I own a motel not too far from here. And you'd be welcome to spend the night in one of the empty rooms if you'd like. Good night, Mary.
And he's back in business.
Who is this? My mother is dead. I'm telling you, there was a note on that wheel from my dead mother.
Norman, it couldn't be your mother. It had to be someone else.
I trust her. She would never do anything to hurt me. No. She'll kill you. I know she will.
Look out behind you!
No, I won't do that. You can't make me kill her.
22 years later, Norman Bates is home. Psycho 2.
It's starting again.
Right then, Psycho 2, 1983, directed by Richard Franklin, starring Anthony Perkins, Vera Miles, Meg Tilly, Robert Loggia, Dennis Franz, and Lee Garlington.
Yep.
Right then.
After 22 years of psychiatric care, Norman Bates attempts to return to a life of solitude, but the specters of his crimes and his mother continue to haunt him.
Ooh.
That's right.
Right then. Shall I start?
Yes.
This was the one that I saw first.
Okay.
I saw this. This was always in the video shop where I used to go to in the 80s. It was always on the shelf. I'd heard of Psycho. It wasn't in that. I couldn't get hold of it on video at the time, but I rented this, or my mum rented it for me. I fucking love this film.
It's a good film.
I have a lot of nostalgic love for this film, which may sort of supersede how technically good it actually is. But as you'll hear, I think Gore says the same thing in his feedback later on. It's such a well-crafted sequel to a film that didn't need a sequel.
Yes, but it's interesting sequel.
Yes.
We've got a little bit of slasher thing going on.
Yeah.
But man, we got a pretty decent crafted whodunit story.
Well, yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
You know, Norman is back at the motel and he's made friends with Meg Tilly's character, who is staying with him. Murders are still happening.
Exactly.
But we know throughout the film, at least one murder happens when Norman is locked in his attic.
That's right.
So it can't be him.
That's right.
So who is it?
I don't know. Is it Meg Tilly?
Well, she wasn't on the scene in that particular bit either. It could be somebody else.
That's right.
Could be.
I would have liked to have seen more of Meg Tilly.
If you handy with the pause button, you do get to see quite a bit of Meg Tilly.
Well, you do, but it was one time. I'm thinking we needed more Meg Tilly.
Yes. Yeah, she doesn't give the best performance, but I think she fits the character that she plays very well.
Yes, absolutely.
Apparently, her and Perkins didn't get on.
Really?
Yes. I was going to mention it at the end, but there is a documentary called The Psycho Legacy.
Okay.
I'll go into it a bit more at the end. But yes, apparently Meg Tilly and Anthony Perkins did not get on at all. Because this was one of her first films, I think. She was very young, and he was obviously the seasoned professional and didn't take to these young whippersnappers coming in and trying to take over, apparently.
That's funny.
Mm.
Is Perkins known as a dick or something, or?
We'll get into that when we get to the Psycho Legacy. I'll talk to you about it at the end.
Okay. All right. So what did you think of Dennis Franz's character?
I was about to say Dennis Franz in this. He plays Mr. Toomey. He's brilliant in everything he's in, isn't he? He's like Burt Young in Rocky, isn't he?
Yes.
That's exactly, whatever film he's in, that's what he plays.
That's right. He is. It's funny because he can almost play a decent guy like in NYPD Blue.
Yeah.
But he excels at this Burt Young shitty people kind of role.
Yeah, you get the feeling, they couldn't get, Burt Young probably just come off the back of Rocky 3. They probably couldn't afford him. Who should we get? Let's get Dennis Franz in,
But I mean, he does it so well.
Yes, he does. When he's riling Norman up in the, when they're in the diner.
Yep.
And that, the weird thing is in this, Dennis Franz is in Norman's face and he's shouting at him and calling him names and all that sort of stuff. And you are thinking, go on, Norman, pick up that knife. Go on.
That's right.
And you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because he's quote unquote the villain. But
nobody will care, Norman. It'll be all right.
Exactly. You get the feeling if he did that they'd just cover it up for him, wouldn't they? They'd drag the body out the back and no, nothing happened here, officer.
After they applaud it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's quite weird. In the same way, you get a series like, say, Nightmare on Elm Street, where you've got the villain, Freddy Krueger. But, 5 films down the line, you're rooting for him. You want to see him off these people.
Yeah, no.
And it really is one of those scenes you think, go on, just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's going to care, Norman.
Yeah. Yeah, Psycho 2, I mean, like I said, for Psycho didn't warrant a sequel, really. But it got one. Directed by Richard Franklin, who I believe was a pupil of Hitchcock, possibly.
Okay.
I think he's certainly done some Hitchcock stuff before. I think that's probably why he was chosen. Written by Tom Holland, we must mention, who is obviously directed Fright Night.
Yep.
So, there's pedigree there. And I think tonally it sticks very close to the original. There are some returning characters. Robert Loggia pops up as the sort of well-meaning psychiatrist, who's always a good presence to have in a film.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people, and Tom Elliott alludes to this in his feedback, a lot of people don't like the ending because of the reveal of, I'll spoil it. Spoiling a 35-year-old film or whatever, but there we go. At the end, Norman is visited by Mrs. Spool, who's an old woman who works in the diner, and she reveals that she reveals that the woman who Norman thought was his mother really isn't. It was her sister.
Right.
And that Mrs. Spool is really his mother, which, viewed through the cynical eyes of nowadays, where we go, well, they're just doing that so they can carry on the story. Well, yes, most probably. But there you go. I don't mind it. I don't think it gives another twist to the story that they're just trying to fuck Norman's head up. And they do rectify it a couple of films down the line.
Well, they do, but, let's be honest. It was a great twist.
And it also leads to one of my favourite effect shots when Anthony Perkins picks up that shovel and smacks her over the head. I love that. I could just have that on a loop.
It's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre shot of the first dude killed in the house.
That's it. Yeah. That is exact. It's up there with me with Leatherface's first kill. Yeah. Yep. Put those two shots on a loop, and I'd love that. I might do that later.
You know what's actually another great shot in this movie?
What's that?
When the sheriff is eating ice out of the cooler.
Oh, yes. It's got the blood. Is that this one or is that Psycho 3?
Oh, shit. That's Psycho 3.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Don't jump ahead. So Psycho 2. What?
The thing about this movie and the reveal is, that it can't be Meg. Norman isn't doing it, or all of them.
Mm.
You don't know how many Meg is doing. You don't know how many Norman's doing. You don't know how many Vera's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But, all these characters keep dying, and you're not really entirely sure who's doing it. They have to have a reveal. They've got to tie it all up, and they did that, and I'm okay with that.
Mm.
I really am, because it ties up the story. And, of course, ooh, wait a minute. I've got a mother here? Well, let's just fix this problem right now.
Yeah.
It's a great ending.
That's right.
It's a great ending.
Talking of effect shots earlier, there's another great one in this when Norman is following Meg Tilly down the stairs and she starts stabbing at him. He grabs the knife with both hands.
Yes.
And she pulls it out slowly. You just see the blood come out of his fingers.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it's not the most graphically horrific thing you've ever seen, but you just look at it and go, "Oh shit, that's gotta hurt."
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'd say I love Psycho too. I think Norman Bates. See, I'm calling him Norman now. I think Anthony Perkins in this is fucking brilliant.
Yep.
He owns the character and the film by this point. So for me, this is also 5 stuffed birds out of 5.
Really?
Yes, I've watched this more than I've watched the original. And I do love the original, but for me, this is, say, nostalgia probably plays a bit more of a part in it, but I can't really fault this.
I give this 4.5 because it's just not up to the level of the first, so.
Well, there you go. That's all right.
Exactly.
Like I said, I would probably say technical level 4.5 and then a 0.5 for my nostalgic love, so there you go.
But what's really fun is I loved Robert Loggia in this. I loved Dennis Franz.
It's a good cast.
They got a great cast supporting too. So, I mean, it all contributes to being just a top flight film.
Well, you've got a few of the original cast members, and then you've got the new cast members, if you like. And I think everybody's reading off the same hymn sheet on it.
Yep.
They wanted to make a good film that pays homage to Hitchcock and all that sort of stuff. And I think they did it.
And, I mean, that's another argument right there for the twist at the end.
Yes.
I mean, that is, if you didn't do something like that, you're not, trying to go all out for the, the nod to Hitchcock and what he's done over his career.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, it would have been maybe a little bit too straightforward if they just closed it off nicely.
Yep.
Okay.
Because, I mean, let's face it, this was 1960. And you have a guy dressing up as his mother killing people. I mean, that was, 1960.
That's right. You want to come where I live, they do it all the time.
Well, in America,
Okay.
So.
Right then, should we move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
The guy just wants to be left alone in peace.
Aren't you going to take him in for questioning or anything?
Just leave him alone.
Norman Bates is back to normal. But Mother's off her rocker. Again.
Norman, is that you?
Yes, Mother. It's me. Bates Motel.
Aside from total boredom, nothing's going to happen to you here.
I can't have that sort of thing going on in my motel. Gives the place a bad name.
Why are you so kind to me?
You remind me of someone.
Mother! I figured Bates was a geek, but a full-fledged Looney Tune?
Norman!
I'll get you for this, Mother.
You haven't got the guts, boy. It's perfectly natural for a son to love his mother.
Right then, Psycho 3 from 1986, directed by Anthony Perkins, starring Anthony Perkins, Jeff Fahey, Roberta Maxwell, Lee Garlington, Diana Scarwid, and Gary Bayer. Right then, synopsis?
Go
on then.
Norman Bates falls in love with a nun. You gotta love this stuff.
Of course he does.
Which makes his mother jealous. Oh hell, I can't even now, I'm lost.
The nun visits the Bates Motel alongside a drifter and a curious reporter.
Yep.
I know what you did, then you paused in the wrong bit of the sentence.
I did, and I got bumfuzzled. I got bumfuzzled when I did that. It's like, wait a minute, I copied this out of IMDb. I'm looking at the words, but I just can't read them.
Oh, well. Right then. Yeah, Norman's back. So's a nun. So's Jeff Fahey.
Jeff Fahey in this movie. Damn. He's like Dennis Franz levels of creepy ass bastard in this movie.
I think Jeff Fahey does that role very well. It's those eyes.
He does.
Yeah. Yep, so basically Norman's back, he's running the motel, he's being left alone, and he's just getting on with it, and one day a former nun called Maureen turns up, and he sinks back into that mother mode again.
He does.
He does.
He loves Maureen, though.
He does.
She loves him. Oh, my goodness.
They want to hold hands with each other, don't they?
She wants to hold something else, I think.
Dirty bitch. But Jeff Fahey... What?
This may be the wrong movie. That's nuns. What is it? Naked nuns with big guns?
Nude nuns with big guns.
Thank you.
Have you seen that?
Yes, but it's been ages since I've seen it. And
I've got it on DVD.
Every time I see this movie, all I can think of is nude nuns with big guns.
They could do a fan edit, couldn't they? They mashed the two films together.
Jesus Christ, it's so bad.
I think I'm going to rewatch Nude Nuns with Big Guns.
Oh, God.
That and Hellride make a nice double pairing if you're into that sort of sleaze like I am. But yeah. Anyway, back to Psycho 3. Yes, I saw this on video, lots in the 80s. This was another one that I rented. I loved it in 1986. I remember renting this over a weekend. I remember renting this and watching it at least 4 or 5 times. Yeah. So when I rewatched it recently for this show, I didn't like it quite as much.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I still like it, but I think there is a considerable drop off here, and I think most of it is to do with the tone. It's too comedic. There are too many. I think Anthony Perkins, even though he directed this himself, I think he plays Norman a little bit too knowing in this film.
Okay.
I think he overplays a lot of his reactions. Like when you were saying earlier about the sheriff when he's eating the ice out of the ice bucket. And
I love that scene, though. That was so good.
That's a good scene, and I think if you'd done it another way, you could have really cranked the tension up. But I think you looking at it, and Norman suddenly, he looks at the ice, and his eyes go up, and he goes... like that, almost as if it was in a pantomime, you know, as if he was going to turn to the camera and go, "Oh no, what's going to happen now, kids?"
I agree.
Yeah, I just think...
I agree with that part of it, yes.
And there's too many scenes like that in this film. I just think it's played a little bit too on the nose. When it does get a bit creepy, you know, when he has that fight with Jeff Fahey's character in that room and all that, it goes a little bit 80s slasher. But that's the stuff that works for me in this film. I just don't... I enjoy it. I think it's very mid-level. It's the one I've watched the least. It's the one I enjoy the least out of the original 4. Yeah, it's good, but I don't think it's great.
Yeah, I think I probably like it maybe a little bit more than you.
Okay.
I'm not going to call it great, but, you know, I like some of the returning characters. I like kind of what they've done with the Jeff Fahey character.
Well, he's sort of taking over from the Dennis Franz role in Psycho 2, isn't he?
He kind of is.
He's there to antagonise Norman.
Exactly. They have absolutely the worst homecoming crowd and homecoming crowd party ever in the history of cinema.
Yeah, why would you
in this motel?
Yeah. They're not near anywhere.
They're terrible people. You almost wish they would have all died.
Yeah.
Just, oh my
Again,
God.
that's when you want Norman to pick up the knife and say, "Go on."
Yeah, exactly. It'll be all right. But yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I think this came out also around the time of the original Bates Motel TV pilot, which we'll get into. And I think tonally I think this is the pilot for that pilot. I think that's what they're setting up. That's what it feels like to me. If you've ever seen that original TV show. Have you seen it?
The original TV show or the newer one, Bates Motel?
Oh, no. Well, we'll get into... Tom Elliott mentioned it in his feedback.
Yeah. I've not seen that. I've not seen that one.
Okay, well, I'll mention it now. In 1987, there was a pilot for a TV show that came out called Bates Motel.
Okay.
It starred, what's the guy's name? Bud Cort. You know him when you see him.
Okay.
You know, you know the film Heat?
Yes.
You know there's that scene where there's that guy who's on parole and he goes to work in that diner?
Mm-hmm.
And he picks up the guy who owns the diner and shoves him on the cooker or something like that?
Yep.
Well, that little guy is Bud Cort.
Okay.
He's in a few other things. He plays a character who, going from memory, I think he's called Alex, but I can't remember. He plays a character who was in the asylum with Norman. And he gets released, and he's got nowhere to go, but Norman Bates dies while he's in the asylum. and wills Alex the motel.
Ah.
So this Alex turns up at the motel, and strange things start to happen.
Yeah.
The original pilot was a bit like a Freddy's Nightmares type thing. The first story was him coming to the hotel and then creepy goings on with Mother and all that sort of stuff. But obviously it can't be Norman because he's dead. And then the second half of it goes into a similar thing to Psycho 3. There's a load of, ghosts. We don't know they're ghosts till the end. But there's cheerleaders and, what you guys would call jocks and all that who turn up in these old 1950s style cars.
Oh, Jesus.
And there's murders and all that sort of stuff. And then you find out that they're ghosts and they were there in the 50s and whatever, and they keep coming back every so often.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
Hence why it didn't get picked up for a TV show. But, that was the pilot. That was available on video over here on VHS. I used to have a big box video copy of it, which I haven't got anymore. I wish I had. And I think Psycho 3 feels very tonally the same as that. Whether they were made at the same time on the same set, I don't know. I know that they use the same hotel props, obviously, and the guy who plays Norman in Bates Motel is the guy who is Anthony Perkins' stunt double. You don't actually see him full in shot, you just see him in shadow.
Huh.
He does look like him. He was Anthony Perkins' stunt double on Psycho 2, 3 and 4, I believe. He's also in the Psycho Legacy documentary.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's Bates Motel, basically. It was a pilot for a TV show that never happened. But you can still get copies on video. They are floating around if you look on eBay.
Okay. Interesting. I've never seen it.
No, I think it's probably on YouTube, actually. If you see it, you will look at it and you'll go, well, that probably explains a lot of Psycho 3. Why it feels a bit more lightweight.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think they were just desperately trying to make Psycho into a big sort of Friday the 13th style franchise, to compete with all that sort of stuff.
Right.
I think that's what they were doing, really, what they were aiming for.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. It kind of does fit in the movie, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you watch them back to back, then it definitely fits. But obviously, with the timeline of Bates Motel, if you make it into canon, then you wouldn't have a Psycho 4, because Norman would be dead.
Yes, gotcha.
But there we go.
Yeah. But, this one, it wasn't bad. It was good, but, we can see they're starting to go downhill.
Yeah, this is like a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 to me. Although I prefer Nightmare on Elm Street 3. When you think, I can see where they're going with this. And I don't quite like it. And then obviously in Elm Street you got Nightmare on Elm Street 4, which was fucking shite.
That's right. And let's be honest, we have not gone full tilt Busta Rhymes and Halloween yet.
No.
But we are we're in the 4. We're heading into that 5, Halloween 5 territory that makes no, God help me,
If MC Hammer had popped up in Psycho 4, then I think, yeah.
They would have gone full Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Psycho 3, I mean, it's the mystery element is gone out of it slightly because, by now we're on the 3rd film. We know it's Norman. There's no mystery. And like I say, Perkins he's very good still, but he's playing it a little bit as if this was a parody. And I think, it's just exaggerating his reactions to certain things,
Yeah.
Whoops, what's Norman going to do now? Oh no, there's a hand in the ice bucket,
True.
Jeff Fahey brings it back down with his sort of almost sinister performance. I don't like the woman who plays the nun. I can't remember her name. Diana or something. Diana Scarwood, just whiny, a bit sappy and a bit wet.
Well,
I know the character's supposed to be, but...
Yeah, and I think that's what makes her performance good.
Okay. Oh well, I'm giving it 3 stuffed birds out of 5.
I give it 3.5, only because we got to see the nun's butt, and it wasn't bad.
I don't think that was hers. I think that was a double.
Damn it. Go ahead, root it for me.
Sorry, I think that's in the documentary. I'm pretty sure. Go from memory.
But I gotta tell you, every time I see this movie, it's all like...
You nuns with big guns.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to work that into a show somewhere.
Oh my God.
Thing is, that film is terrible, but I can't help but like it.
It's the worst.
Well, considering what we're reviewing after we've done Psycho, yeah, I think...
It's the worst.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie Nude for Satan?
No, we've spoken about this one before, yeah.
That movie is so bad. But you open up on a completely nude woman running through the forest. You just can't go wrong.
I know, well, that's what these cult films are about. That's why I enjoy them.
Oh.
Anyway. Right then, should we move on to the next one?
Yes, sir. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
In 1960, Alfred Hitchcock created a film that is perhaps the most terrifying thriller of all time. Psycho. Now, come answers to the questions audiences have been asking for over 30 years. Psycho 4, The Beginning.
This is Fran Ambrose on KTK, Talk of the Town.
I called because the focus of your show tonight is what makes boys kill their mothers.
Are you saying you killed your mother?
I killed some other women, too.
Want to tell us about your mother, how she drove you to become what you became?
She'd be sweet one moment, and then she'd suddenly turn mean. Don't you have any respect for the dead?
How did it all start?
What are you doing here?
We're gonna wake up your mother. Kill her.
I can't, no.
Then I'll do it for you.
What makes Norman Bates kill?
Look at yourself, boy. Ha! Girl. Yes, girl.
No.
Mama's little girl.
How'd you kill your mother?
Slowly.
Will this be the end of Norman Bates?
Oh, I've killed before. And now I'm going to have to do it again.
Or is it only the beginning? Psycho 4, The Beginning. Anthony Perkins stars, with Olivia Hussey, C.C.H. Pounder, and Henry Thomas as young Norman Bates. Psycho 4, The Beginning, on videocassette.
Right then, Psycho 4, The Beginning from 1990, directed by Mick Garris, starring Anthony Perkins, Henry Thompson, Olivia Hussey, C.C.H. Pounder, Donna Mitchell, and for some reason, John Landis. Why the fuck is John Landis in this?
I don't know.
I like John Landis, but why is he in this?
I am very conflicted about this movie.
Well, let's do a synopsis first.
Let's. Norman Bates recalls his days as a young boy living with a schizophrenic mother while fearing his unborn child will inherit his split personality disorder. There's your synopsis.
There we go. Right. I love films that have late night DJ phone-ins in them.
Do you really?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a lot of them around the late 80s, early 90s, I remember. I just love that. It's not something we get over here, really, the late night DJ phone-ins. I think there are a few, but they're generally about people splitting up with their fucking partners, and it's all a bit shit, really. But when you watch some of these films, I love it. I don't know why. And so, yeah, because that's basically the first 2/3 of Psycho 4 is Norman phoning in his life story to a radio show, hosted by C.C.H. Pounder, which is a great name.
Isn't it, though?
She's got
That is an epic name.
Sounds like a wrestling name, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
She's hosting the show, and with John Landis working as the producer behind the mixing desk. I still don't know why. When they were casting it, we need someone to play this engineer. We need Landis. I guess him and Mick Garris are friends, and he owed him a favour. I don't know.
This was an odd movie for Mick Garris to direct.
Yeah, it's a TV movie, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is, but still.
Well, Mick Garris is strange. Well, he's not strange. He's probably a very nice guy. But he's one of them directors who, he's very much one of us. He's a big horror fan. He knows his stuff. You see his name banded around in a lot of documentaries about horror films. But when you say, right, what's Mick Garris directed? This is the only one I can usually recall, to be honest.
I always associate him with Masters of Horror TV series, so.
Oh, yeah, well, he did that. But he's a writer as well. He wrote The Fly 2.
Right.
And Critters 2. But as a director, I'm just going to call up his directing credits because I don't really know what else he's done. I've seen him in he's done some he did Freddy's Nightmares, didn't he? The Killer Instinct story. Oh, he directed Critters 2 as well. The Stand TV series.
Yes.
So he's done a few things, nothing that's really massive, but he's just one of those names that's always floating around.
Right.
You know, again, if you have a panel of horror directors or whatever at a Q&A, he's normally one of them. So he knows his stuff.
Yes, he does.
He does. So, but I wouldn't say he's an auteur. He hasn't got a particular style. I wouldn't say that.
No. I don't think so either.
But technically very good. So Anthony Perkins is back as Norman. He's phoning in his life story to this radio show, and in the flashbacks, Norman is played by Henry Thomas.
Yes.
From E.T. I think he does all right.
He doesn't do bad.
You could believe he's a young Anthony Perkins.
You could. Absolutely.
We've got Olivia Hussey as Norma Bates, the mother.
Yes.
You know, Olivia Hussey. Can't act for shit, but Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Nope.
That scene where she's rolling around on the floor with Henry Thomas and he gets a boner. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was rolling around on the floor with Olivia Hussey, I'd have a stonker you could hang a wet beach towel off, I'll be quite honest.
You know, that's a mental movie I did not need a ticket to.
And that shot of her when she sits up in bed with no top on, it's like, oh, man.
Yep.
But yeah, then she spoils it by opening her mouth. And and the illusion is shattered.
Yeah. The only person that's acting worse than her in this movie is her boyfriend.
Oh, he's terrible. Yeah.
It just is. He is.
Yeah. He is terrible.
Yeah.
But there is, Tom Elliott again alludes to this. There's a thing about this film where Olivia Hussey is obviously a beautiful younger woman than the image of Mrs. Bates that we were all used to.
Right.
Because we're used to an old woman with grey hair and an old croaky voice. And Norman drops the line in this film that she was a young woman, but she always seemed old to me.
Yep.
Which is why he always puts on that croaky voice when he pretends to be her. It's a little bit of a naff way out, but it's an explanation. So there you go.
Yep.
But yeah, there's not a lot of stuff. I like the first 2/3 of this film, the radio stuff. It drops off for me at the end when they go to the cashing in bit where they have to show the old motel.
Yeah, I love the radio bits.
Yes.
I thought that the Anthony Perkins radio bits were really good, and then they just kind of ruined it with this other stuff.
They had to,
and I know they have to, but still.
You know, it's the same way that you have to show Jason's mask and you have to show, you know, Freddy's claw or the boiler room or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
At the end, Norman has a breakdown. He gets his pregnant wife to go to meet him at the Bates Motel, and then he tries to kill her before she talks him round by just staring at him. And he suddenly realises he's not going to murder his wife, and she hugs him and they go off together.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Oh, I'm cured. Woohoo!
I'm cured, and we're going to live the rest of our life with we're both going to pretend this didn't happen, even though I could potentially snap at any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending's a little bit too much of a convenient wrap-up, and it just it takes away from the first 2/3 of the film, which I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
It sort of writes off a lot of what's happened before, because there was a talk of this being the only official sequel to Psycho. I don't think that's the case. There is a very small drop line that Norman says, I haven't killed for 4 years, which obviously means that the Psycho 3 did happen. But then you're thinking, well, let's look at this, Norman. You've murdered somebody. You went away for 22 years. You came back out. You murdered again. They put you back inside, and it's only 4 years later, and they've let you out again. I don't fucking think so.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a history.
Why were people trying to claim that this was the only sequel?
I think I've read it in a few places, and I think it's just one of those things where they try and retcon a few things, and that last film that didn't happen. We'll continue this on from an earlier part, like they did with Friday the 13th. Part 5 didn't happen. You're supposed to think that 6 carries on from number 4 and all that.
Oh God,
I think people just do that when they don't particularly like a film. We'll forget that happened.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
But there we go.
Yeah. Screw them.
Yeah.
You know what? Not a great movie, but it's an average movie. I gave it a 2.5.
Ah, well, see, I like it more than you then. I gave it a 3.5.
Wow. Okay.
I like this more than I like Psycho 3.
Ooh, no, I like Psycho 3 more.
Well, damn you.
Hey.
No, I like this one more just for those first bits with CCH Pounder and John Landis.
Right.
I like those bits. It drops the ball at the end. That's when I can just literally, when Norman hangs up the phone to the radio station, I can turn the film off, and that's done for me. I don't need that end bit.
Look, let's be honest. Mick Garris took off for Hawaii, and everyone phoned in the ending.
Yeah, I think that was probably what it is.
Giant cop out.
That is probably it's a studio ending. We've got to show the motel. We've got to have Norman flip out and then be talked round again.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. It's just bollocks. But yeah,
he's scared. Woohoo!
Yeah, that last 15 minutes is terrible. But I think the first, however long the film is really good. Perkins, Henry Thomas, even Olivia Hussey. She's not speaking. They're all okay. They're all believable.
Yeah. And her boyfriend isn't speaking too. Let's be honest.
Well, he's there. He's going to get it. He's there. He's set up just to be murdered, isn't he?
Yep, exactly.
Which he does. You wish it had been with the knife, though.
Poison was slower. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it looked quite painful, didn't it?
It did, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. There we go then. Yeah, so 2.5 for you, 3.5 for me. Right.
Let's rank them.
Well, should we do a quick talk on the remake?
Boy's best friend is his mother. She just goes a little mad sometimes.
Mother! Oh, God! Mother!
We're not going to include the remake in our rankings, are we?
Yeah, go on. We may as well.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right, fine.
Well, it is part of it, isn't it? I'll just say now, Psycho was remade in 1998 by Gus Van Sant, starring Vince Vaughn, Anne Heche, Julianne Moore, Viggo Mortensen, William H. Macy. It's a shot-for-shot remake of the original. It's in colour. It's not very good. There you go.
I'm going to say that Tom, thank you. I am stealing this from you, Mr. Elliott. What he says, and I'm going to paraphrase or quote, it's like a group of people got together and put on a play of Psycho.
Yeah.
That's exactly, I could never figure out how to describe it. Tom, I'm stealing it. That is exactly it. It's okay. It's people putting on a play. Let's leave it at that.
If you've never seen the original or any of the sequels, and it's your only exposure to a Psycho film, then it's okay.
Yes.
But it isn't. It isn't the only Psycho film.
Right.
And I think this is retconning it a bit. I think years after it came out and it got really slated, and everybody said, well, it was just an experiment in filmmaking to see if it would still stand up to modern filmmaking, and all that sort of stuff. I think that's bollocks, personally. I think they just wanted to remake the film, to make it into a colour, modern film.
This is not a film that relies on effects. This is not a film that relies on anything other than people who can act and someone who could write and someone who could direct it.
That's it.
That's why it succeeded in 1960.
And to copy it with exactly the same sort of directing style and script and all that in the 90s, it's going to be a bit flatter, of course it is. All it does is to highlight how good Hitchcock and Perkins and everybody else involved with the original was.
Exactly. But I love Tom's description. If you take it as going to see a play based on Psycho, hey, okay.
That's it, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm not going to say that it's shit, because, technically it's a well put together film, but I don't particularly like it. I don't think it needs to exist.
Yep.
I watched it again for this show. I'll probably never watch it again. I'll just watch the original.
There you go.
So there we go. That's Psycho. What are you giving Psycho 98?
I'd give it a 2. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I'm the same. It's 2. You know, like I said, if you don't want to watch any of the originals and you just want to watch a Psycho film, why would you? I don't know. But if you did, there you go. There it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and are we going to rank the series?
Yep. You know what my ranks are, right?
Yeah, I've got everything written down here. So let's go in our preferred order. And I'll point out now, when we do this is our preferred order of the films, not necessarily what we think are quote-unquote the best. And I'll explain why.
What the hell did you just say?
When we rank these films...
Yes.
I've always got in theory that we are ranking them on the order that we like them the best.
Yes.
Not necessarily what we think are technically quote-unquote the best. Because they're different.
Maybe they are. I just rank them how I like them. Isn't that what we're supposed to do?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'm answering a question that somebody asked me a while ago.
Oh, really? Okay, no.
Yes.
For all of our handful of listeners, hi, Mom.
For both of our listeners.
That's right, hi, Mom.
Uh-huh.
I rank them how I like them.
Enjoyability, I think, is the key.
Yes.
Again, it's that thing I've always said it before. If you put them all down in front of me and say, right, watch one now.
Yep.
There you go. Which one do you pick up? So, go on then. What's your favourite?
Psycho.
I'm going Psycho 2.
Okay. Psycho 2. All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Next one is Psycho, the original.
Yep. My next one is Psycho 2.
So there you go. Yeah. And again, there's not a lot between them. It's just that I have that nostalgic love for the first one, and that's the one I always gravitate towards. I don't necessarily think it's technically a better film, but that's the one I'll go to.
Exactly. You like it a little. You just got that little bit
that attachment to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What's your third favourite then?
The third.
I'm going Psycho 4.
Okay. You just like to be different, don't you?
Yeah. And then I'll go Psycho 3.
Yep, I'm Psycho 3, Psycho 4, and then the remake.
And then the remake at the end. So there you go. We're not too far out.
Exactly. What about the new Bates Motel?
I've seen the first series. It's alright. Is it Vera Farmiga, her name? I like her anyway.
I've only seen the first season. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the first season, but, I haven't watched any of the other ones.
I watched the first episode of the second season, but I've sort of dropped off after that. Not through any indifference or anything like that. I just haven't got time to watch them all.
Yeah.
The trouble is with it, and I'm like this on all TV series, they're trying to cram in all these different elements that actually steer away from the original idea of Psycho and Norman Bates.
Okay.
Because he's hardly in the first season, is he? It's more about the mother.
It is. It is. They're trying to set. I think you're right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
And all TV series do this. It's like if you suddenly did a TV series of, say, Nightmare on Elm Street, you know that Freddy Krueger probably wouldn't pop up till halfway through the first season. He'd pop up.
Ooh, I don't think so.
Do you know what I mean? But it's that thing.
No.
I think they do.
I think if they did a TV series about Friday or Nightmare on Elm Street, the first season would be, the first season would all be about Freddy Krueger. Nobody else.
No, not the way they'd say, no, they'd have to bring in all these other characters and they'd have to pad it out to his background and then they'd bring him in about halfway or 2/3 through the first season.
I think they'd use all the characters just as kids. Well, I guess that means they'd have to bring in more characters. All right, maybe you're right on that.
Do you know what I mean? They go, I know what we can do with this. Let's bring in this character and this character and this character, and they can all be around the main character. And, by the end of the first season, we may have a little thread that leads to the stories that you already know.
Okay.
And it's just my problem with TV series in general. It's like, I don't know who you're appealing to.
You know what's funny is I think that's why I liked the remake of Nightmare a little better than you, is because I enjoyed what they did with Freddy Krueger background.
We'll get there eventually.
But I mean, I dig a little background. I would watch.
I don't mind background, but they tend to, the stuff that they bring in isn't anything to do with the main character generally. I don't give a fuck about Norman Bates' brother. He didn't have a brother in the original. I don't care about that.
Well, we don't know that he did have a brother in the original. How do we know that?
Because there wasn't one.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Did you see one?
No, but that doesn't mean he didn't have one.
Oh, come on.
I know what you're saying.
Like I said, they pad it out and make it about all the secondary characters, as if to say, well, we can't go down that first story because Norman Bates is an old character. Blah blah blah.
Well,
I just think they pad these things out.
No one's got the balls. Well, they're starting to. Okay, they're starting to. No one has the balls to make short TV seasons that focus on one thing. If they had made a nice 1 or 2 season TV series about Norman Bates as a kid and stopped there, that'd be great. But they bring in all this extra stuff to make it go on and on.
You look at something like Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah.
10 episodes that are 30 minutes each, 35 minutes each, something like that?
Yep.
All got Bruce Campbell, all got Deadites, because that's the reason you're watching them.
Yep.
There you go. Short, sharp shot. That's all you need.
Yep.
Short bits of Norman Bates, touching on the bits of the plot that we already know, that Psycho 4 introduced, all those background bits.
Yep.
Right, show us that. Don't show me about a brother that you haven't fucking mentioned up until now. Don't show me what his friends are doing at school, because I really don't give a shit.
Exactly.
You know.
And what's wrong with leaving on a high note?
Yeah.
So you only make 2 seasons. Big deal. Hey, it's awesome.
2 seasons of great TV is better than 6 seasons of gibbering shit.
Yes. And this is, everybody who knows me knows I'm a Stephen King super fan. If they had decided to make a couple of seasons only about the Dome, they would have come off a lot better than the shit that they tried to pull with their 4-season nightmare of Under the Dome craptastic.
Well, they stretch these things out, don't they?
Oh, beat a dead horse.
This is why I can't get into TV. I just can't do it.
It makes it really hard. You know, it really...
I can stick on, Psycho 2 or Psycho 4 or whatever and get a couple of hours with Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, and that does me. I don't need to sit through, 25 episodes of what his mother was doing, while the other brother was out riding a motorbike and knifing people. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, yes, I absolutely agree with that.
And I think Ash vs. Evil Dead's got it right. Those short, sharp shots are the things that we like, of the bits that we like from Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 3 and all that sort of stuff.
But let's be honest, do you want 4 seasons of that?
No, but they're not 4 seasons in yet, are they?
No, they're only 1, but they're going to renew it again.
Yeah.
Did really well.
And I think once you've done the end of the second season, I know they're not going to, because if it's making money, then they're going to keep doing it. But I think creatively, that's the time when you look at it and say, right, we've done 2 seasons, let's go out on a high while it's still fresh. It's a bit of an old example, and I know looking at him now, you wouldn't think that. But if you look at Ricky Gervais and what he did with The Office, over here he did 2 seasons and that was it. There wasn't a third season, and he said, why drag it out to a 3rd season? Leave it at 2. Leave them wanting more.
Which one was this?
The Office. The Office.
Oh, yeah. That was only 2 seasons over
there? Here, yeah. You Americans, you dragged it out to fucking years and years and years. Over here, it was only 2 seasons, and then he wouldn't do any more.
Right.
Because it was like, well, what? I mean, he's come back now. He's doing the David Brent film, which I'll probably see anyway. But
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but why drag something out and make it become, Walking Dead, for fuck's sake, I gave up half of season 2. I've seen enough. Right. I've seen enough. I don't need any more.
Exactly.
I don't need to see any more people in a building refusing help and then accepting help and then shooting zombies in the head. Because that's all it is. And I've seen it all before.
Yeah, exactly.
But there you go.
Right. There we go. That was a lively debate.
That was.
We haven't had that much of a debate since your atrocity Amityville thing.
Oh, you mean the greatest possession film ever made? After Exorcist?
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Okay. Well, before we wrap up on Psycho, I was going to mention it, the Psycho Legacy documentary.
Okay, go ahead. I've never seen it.
Never seen it. It came out about 5-6 years ago. It's a 2-disc DVD set. The main feature is only about an hour long, but there's about 4 hours worth of extras. It's a similar thing to those, like the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street documentaries that came out. It's a bit like that.
Right.
They interview people from, any of the crew members from the original film who are still alive.
Okay.
The guy who wrote it, I can't remember his name. It escapes me right now, but he's interviewed for it.
Lawrence Block.
No, the guy who wrote the screenplay, not the novel.
Oh, I don't know that.
I can't remember his name. But they interview him. They interview people from Psycho 2, Tom Holland, Robert Loggia, people like that. Perkins' stunt double, whose name I can't remember. He's quite prominent in it. Jeff Fahey, and all the people involved in the famed 4 films. There's archive footage of Anthony Perkins at a Q&A, which is quite good. He does reveal in the Q&A that the famous Psycho shower scene was not him.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't him. It was his double. Not the same double who's in Psycho 2, 3 and 4, but it was somebody else.
Why is that?
Because he was in a play. He wrapped up filming and he was in a play in New York while they were filming that bit.
Oh, That's interesting.
Yeah, he said it's his most famous scene, and he's not actually in it. But yeah, he gives some good stories. But yeah, it comes across. You were saying earlier about Anthony Perkins being a dick. I don't think it's necessarily him being a dick. I think he was very much old school Hollywood. He expected a certain standard out of people, and he didn't always get it.
Okay, I gotcha. I understand what you're saying.
It's more that most of the people speak very highly of him.
Okay.
But they said there were occasions where he would be a little bit of a diva, especially on Psycho 3 when he was the director. But,
oh, really?
Yeah, but, but they said that's just the way he was. He was old school Hollywood. He came up through the ranks like a lot of them did. And, but everybody speaks of him quite favourably. But they also reveal him and Meg Tilly didn't get on. I haven't watched it for a while, actually. I can't think of any other juicy.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's a good documentary. So the main bit of it's not very long. It's a 2-disc set. You can get it really cheaply. Yeah, it only got a UK release last year, but I had a Region 1 DVD from about 5 or 6 years ago. So yeah, it's worth picking up if you're a fan. There's some good bits of information.
Yeah, it does sound like. I was just thinking. It really does sound like. I maybe I'll have to give that one a watch.
That was it. That's Psycho done and dusted then.
Yeah. I'm glad we did this one.
So am I.
I really
A couple of people mentioned it about doing it. It's one I always wanted to do because I am the Norman Bates fanboy.
Are you really?
Yeah, I think he's a great character. He's up there. He's up there with the best of them for me. But yeah, I can't remember who said it. I can't take credit for it, but it was on a podcast. They were talking about Psycho, and they said if you imagine all the horror villains in one room, Jason, Freddy, Leatherface, Pinhead, Norman Bates, all of that, and they said Norman Bates is the scariest because you look at him and he looks like a normal guy,
right?
And they said imagine if suddenly someone turned the lights out. And then they turn them back on. Norman Bates would still be the guy standing there. All the others would be butchered to death around him, and he'd just stand there with a casual look on his face, like, what?
Yeah, that's true, he would.
Freddy's evil when you look at him. Jason's evil. Leatherface is evil. Norman Bates, you can't tell that by looking at him.
No, you can't.
No. So, glad we did Psycho. Enjoyed that.
Hey, you know what we should do, though? We got some... Like we've mentioned, we got some feedback from Gore Blimey, Trilogy of Terror podcast, and Tom Elliott, Grindhouse Tom from he's got a Twilight Zone podcast. He's got Strange and Deadly with Chris.
Oh, he's got all sorts going on that way.
He's got all sorts of stuff.
I know.
Let's play the feedback.
Let's play Tom's feedback first.
Hey fellas, Tom Elliott from the Strange and Deadly show with a bit of feedback about the Psycho series. Now, some might say that the Psycho series shouldn't really be a series because that first movie is, of such high pedigree. It's a Hitchcock movie. But, I'm not one of those people. I actually really like this series, but I've got to go off the top of my head because it's been years since I've watched them. So I will just rattle off some random thoughts as I go. I mean, the first movie, what can you say? I always find it difficult to discuss something that's always been discussed to death anyway. So, I love it. It's a classic. End of. Now, the second movie, I remember when I first saw it, and there's all this sort of thing about, well, Norman's mum wasn't really his mum and that kind of thing. And I remember watching it thinking, you can't really do that, I think I was still so beholden to the first movie that I was a bit like, I don't know about that. But it's probably the best made of the sequels, but it's probably the one that I've watched the least, strangely enough. But, I think it's a decent movie, but I need to refresh my memory on that one to really give an opinion. Now, the third movie is, that's quite the thing, because, over the years, Anthony Perkins, I think, wanted to push away the Norman Bates character because he was a bit typecast, but then as the years went by, he kind of came back around and, embraced the character of Norman Bates and would go to conventions and that kind of thing. I really like the third movie. It's the one that people will hold up and say, oh, but it's just a slasher movie. You can't make a slasher movie about a Hitchcock movie like this, etc., etc. But again, I don't care. I think it's a lot of fun. I always just like watching Anthony Perkins do his thing. I thought he was great when he was doing his Norman thing. He was a bit bigger in the character now. He was really hamming it up a bit, I think. It was a bit more subtle in the first movie, but who cares? That's what I'm there for, to see him do his thing. Now, the fourth movie, it's not great, it's not great. Very odd choice to have a young Mrs. Bates being this sort of, is she Italian or Spanish or something? I can't remember, this gorgeous sex pot, when we're so used to her being this creaky old woman, because you would think that Norman would be impersonating his mother's voice. Well, why isn't he impersonating it with an accent, So it's a bit of a strange choice, but again, it's a bit of trashy fun. It's not great, but I treat the series as a little bit of a guilty pleasure, but I'm not that guilty about it, to be honest. The remake, I'm not going to come down. I don't know whether you're covering the remake. I'm not going to come down on it too hard. Everyone was up in arms about it. I saw it. It was just like another group of actors doing a play. That's the way I saw it. It's not as good as the original, but it is what it is. I'm far too old to get all angry about things on the internet anymore. That's for other people to do. I don't know how complete you're going to be, whether you're going to cover that old Bates Motel TV movie thing that was supposed to be a series, and I don't mean the current series. That was pretty rubbish, but that's all I can really say about that one. But anyway, yeah, guilty pleasure series that I'm not too guilty about. I enjoy it, and I'd love to sort of cover it in a podcast form myself one day, and I might just do that, but we'll see. It's I look forward to hearing what you guys think, and I think it's going to prompt me to have a long overdue rewatch. Thanks, guys. See you later.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Very nice to hear from you, as always.
And we've already talked about your feedback throughout the show. And,
well, yes.
I mean, thank you, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's not a lot else you can add to the first film. I'm glad he liked Psycho 2.
Yes, me too.
I think he liked Psycho 3 maybe a little more than I did, but I liked Psycho 4 a bit more than he did.
Yeah. Okay, I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, so there you go. That's about it, really, isn't it?
Thank you, Tom.
We've also got some feedback from our good mate Gore.
Oh, blimey.
I probably should have played this earlier because it's only really Psycho 2 centric, but we'll play it now.
That's okay.
That's okay. We'll play it now and we'll come back in just a moment.
Hi guys, it's Gore Blimey here from the Trilogy of Terror podcast with a few thoughts about one of the films you're covering. Now, I absolutely love Psycho, and I have done from the first time I saw it, but I couldn't imagine how or why anyone would think they could pull off a decent sequel, so I already had pretty low expectations when I thought I'd give Psycho 2 a try. Gotta say though, I was actually pretty impressed. Okay, it's never going to have that iconic status the original has, but I admit I really got into it. Now, this was produced at the tail end of the stalk and slash period, and it would have been so easy for them to go down that route, but much as I love a good slasher movie, or even a bad one, I'm kind of glad they didn't go that way, because what we got instead is an intelligent mystery and psychological thriller. It's got tension and atmosphere, and there's a brilliant nuanced performance from Anthony Perkins as Norman. Has he really been returned to sanity? Is he delusional? Is he being set up? Is he dangerous? I love the fact that his acting alone kept me guessing all the way. I don't think anyone needs to have seen Psycho to enjoy this sequel, but as someone who has, I loved all the visual references to it. The directing style and cinematography in places are a very deliberate homage. There's some recognisable imagery that's referenced too, either directly or more subtly. Like, for example, I loved where a victim's fingers are seen dragging down a grimy window, which mirrors Janet Leigh's hand on the shower tiles during the original shower murder. It's got some nice touches of its own too. I like the shot of the shiny brass doorknob with the reflection of Norman as a child. I was interested that every time we see him wearing a jacket, the collar's always turned down slightly wrong. I love how he attempts to break away from his old self, and it's symbolised by him painting the motel a cheerful yellow, but he never finishes it. And then there's the stigmata-like wounds he gets towards the end. Loads of stuff that kept me thinking while I watched. When they scored this, it must have felt like a brave choice not to use the really famous music from the first film, but I think the music here is fantastic. It's beautiful and works incredibly well. I thought the pacing was good too. It never flagged for me, and I didn't check my emails or Twitter once. Remember, this is a film that goes on for nearly 2 hours. They really crank up the action towards the end and throw in quite a few big twists. That's where it could have easily got very silly. But I was with it all the way and I really enjoyed it. During the first half it did feel like there were a few plot holes or things that seemed unlikely people would do, but as it went on it all kind of made sense. For a horror film of that time, there's not a massive body count, but the kills do seem to have more impact because of that, especially that one at the end that really did strike me, and the victim as well, obviously. For me, it had that same kind of violent shock value as Leatherface's first kill in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The only thing I wasn't too fussed by was Meg Tillier's Mary. I really like her character, and I think she's interesting and well written, but I did find the acting quite flat. Not a terrible performance as such, she just didn't seem to show any emotion or change her facial expression through a lot of the film. But that's the only complaint I could find. Overall, Psycho 2 was a pleasant surprise.
Thank you, Gore. Always nice to hear from you as well.
And you know what? I got the real impression that Gore liked it about on our level.
Yeah, I think he hit the similar points that we did, really. Psycho didn't need a sequel, but it got one, and if it's going to have a sequel, it needs to be as good as this. So yeah.
Right.
I like Gore's feedback. He only ever sends in feedback about one film in a series.
Yeah, but
But he's always got something good to say.
He does. And the same way on his podcast. They're not very long, but he's always he packs a lot of punch.
Oh,
in those 30 minutes. I mean, really, it's, I always love hearing Gore's opinion on things.
This is true. And we'd like to hear some more opinions from people. So if you've got any feedback for anything that we've covered or you want us to cover, do send it in, ancientslumberpodcast@gmail.com, or catch us on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Right then, let's move on to the main event then.
Oh, God help me, no.
Yeah, we're going to do a quick review of a film which Myron loves. I think I'm going to have to speak over him just to shut him up on this one.
Oh, God.
Let's play a quick trailer and then we'll get into it.
Anthem Pictures reluctantly presents what is considered to be the worst horror film of all time. Your skin will crawl. Your stomach will turn.
I have to go to the restroom.
Your blood will boil. Dining will never be the same.
It's full cordon bleu.
I never tasted anything so unique.
It's delicious.
Dismemberment. Death.
Oh, man.
Distastefulness.
My hemorrhoids.
Microwave Massacre.
This is it, May.
You're a walking contraceptive.
Say, you look so much better in the dark.
I've told you 1,000,000,000 billion trillion times.
You are what they eat.
I know I'm gonna be sick. Too many bones.
Right then, Microwave Massacre from 1983, directed by Wayne Berwick and starring Jackie Vernon, Al Troop, Marla Simon, Claire Ginsberg, Luann Weber, and Lauren Shane? Don't know how you pronounce that. Apologies if I got your name wrong. Right then, synopsis. Fed up of his wife's bad cooking, Donald kills her and turns to cannibalism to satisfy his appetite.
Yeah, there you go.
That's probably a better synopsis than what actually happens.
God, yes. Absolutely.
This film just had a Blu-ray release from Arrow Video here in the UK and in the States, I believe. So, yeah, Microwave Massacre. Made in the 80s. Microwaves were new then, in 83. Well, I don't reckon this was... I know this wasn't filmed in 1983. This was filmed way before. I have read 1981, but I would even put it further back than that. I would have said 78, 79, to be honest.
I mean, let's be honest. When the microwaves first came out, they were big, but they were not that big.
Were they not?
Christ, no. Jesus.
Yeah, the microwave in question in this film is about the size of... If you had one on your wall now, people would think you've got a widescreen telly. It's huge, this thing, isn't it? in the kitchen.
It's as big as an oven.
Mm. But for a film about that, there's not actually a lot of microwaving done in it, is there? I imagine the way that thing was wired up, as soon as you turned it on, it probably fucked all their cameras and microphones up anyway with the electric sound waves and shit. But basically this film opens up with one of the greatest opening scenes ever.
Yes, I will absolutely get behind that 100%.
I'd like to get behind that. And
dear Lord, help.
God blimey, yeah. Marla Simon plays a character who's listed as not whole girl.
Yeah, that's exactly.
She marches down the street with no bra on and some very skimpy shorts.
And I don't know the way they you got the camera shot on the hooters, then you got the camera shot on the butt, then you got the pull away shot, then you got the boobs, you got the butt, you got the pull away. Oh, Jesus.
Now, this doesn't show me in a very good light. Not that I've ever been shown in a very good light anyway. But as she was walking down the street, clearly got no bra on to my experienced world-weary eyes, I thought to myself, I hope we get to see what they look like. And we do, because she shoves them through a hole in a wall on a building site.
Yes.
For a builder to come running at from the other side, and just before he gets to grab them, she pulls them away.
That's right.
Now, 2 questions. First of all, how does she know when he's near the hole? Because there's no eye hole for her to look through.
Who cares?
Secondly, why? Just
who
why?
Cares?
Why is this scene here?
Because it's got 2 large boobs.
I know. Yeah, if you watch the special features on the disc, there's an interview with the director Wayne Berwick, is it? Did I say? Yeah, Wayne Berwick. And he says that film, that was added in, that wasn't their original opening scene. They added that in afterwards because they couldn't technically do what they wanted to do.
Why's that?
It was to do with microwaving lots of food.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. He said it was too expensive, they couldn't do it, blah, blah, blah. So they had to come up with something quick, and this is what they came up with. Girl shoves her tits through holes in the fence. Which I think is good. Very good for the Academy, as my little Police Academy quote is going to be. Yes. So there's that opening scene.
You know what? And if the movie had stopped...
If the movie had stopped there, it would have been a 5 out of 5 for me.
God help.
But no, this scene serves to introduce us to the builders on the site. The main one is Donald, who is played by Jackie Vernon, in a role that was originally they wanted Rodney Dangerfield for. And you can see that, but they couldn't afford Rodney Dangerfield. So they got Jackie Vernon. Do you know who Jackie Vernon is? Is he a big name or anything?
No, I don't know who he is. Who is he?
See, no, he was just while I was watching the film, because I'll be honest, he's fucking terrible.
Everyone in this movie is fucking terrible.
But I just got the feeling that when you just see some people on a screen and you think, I should know who that person is, and I don't. And I just got the feeling that I should know who he was, and I didn't. And I've looked at his IMDb, and I can't really say there's anything in there that I've ever seen. He's done some TV, but he was in some episodes of Chips, so I might have seen him once when I was about 4. But, yeah, he can't act, he can't deliver a line. There was a couple of scenes I did snigger at him, though, when he's arguing with his wife about her cooking, and some of his comebacks are quite good, but he can't deliver them. Yeah, so he goes home, he's got his wife who's got this brand new microwave oven, and she's making him the worst fucking food ever by the sounds of it. And the thing is, he doesn't even kill her over her food. It's the fact that she won't let him eat with his hands, isn't it?
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Jesus.
She won't let him eat.
And look, let's be honest, too. They have the worst, god-awful strip club known to man in this.
It's just a bar with a woman dancing in it.
God, Jesus.
A barman who hates everybody and doesn't want to talk to anybody.
God almighty.
Let's cut the crap. We're giving this film far too much credit. It's a short film. It's only about 75 minutes long. Yeah, basically, Donald kills his wife, and he gets the taste for human flesh cooked in a microwave. He gives it to his colleagues. They like it as well. And then he starts going around meeting young women and killing them. There's nothing too graphic in this film. There's a few awkward comedic sex scenes. I did laugh at some of this. It did make me laugh. Some of it for all the wrong reasons. There's not a lot to it. You hated it. I quite enjoyed it, even though I know it's shit.
It's got several pairs of boobs in it. It makes it passable for that, only that. But what I do want to know is, I don't have the Arrow version, but I was able to watch it.
Yes.
Tell me about the Arrow version. Because that's really what you're after, is we're after review the Arrow version. Movie sucks, but what did Arrow do?
Arrow gave us a 2K restoration from the original camera negative.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't warrant that, really. I'd hate to,
I went after it.
I hate to see what the original negatives look like. To be fair, it is fairly clean picture. It's quite brightly coloured in most places. There's not a lot of gore in it, so there's not a lot to really sort of stand out, if you like. But, it's bright and cheery. It looks quite nice.
Got it.
Yeah, it's a dual format package. You get a DVD and a Blu-ray. Wow.
Okay.
There's an audio commentary from producer Craig Muckler.
Oh, God. Okay.
I haven't listened to, but I might rewatch it with that on, actually, because, again, I think it's one of those things, the making of this film's more interesting than the end result. There is a featurette, a making of, which has got interviews with Craig Muckler, Wayne Berwick, and actor Lauren Shine, whatever, sorry. That's quite good. I think watching that, Wayne Berwick they set out with good intentions, because Wayne Berwick was in the film industry anyway. His father was, I believe, a sound editor or something like that, and he'd worked with his father on a lot of films before this. I think they went into this saying, let's make a film, and then by the time they realised what they were doing, they were in too deep, and so they just did the best they could with what they had, by the sounds of it. But everybody involved with it sounds like, Wayne Berwick even says himself, yeah, we made a shit film, but it was good fun. Like I've always said, he's got more films made than we have, so.
Oh, God.
You've also got the customary Arrow reversible sleeve with 2 pictures on, and if you get the first pressings from Arrow Video, you get a fully illustrated collector's booklet featuring writings on the film by Stephen Thrower, the writer of Nightmare USA. So
Yeah. You know what? Even though I can't stand this movie, I absolutely love what Arrow does for films.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Top flight company, period.
It's definitely not the worst film they've ever put out, believe me. I'd go to Satan's Blade or something like that, which I thought was...
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Satan's Blade was terrible and I didn't enjoy it, but it looked good on the Arrow version. This film looks good. It is a terrible film, but I enjoyed it. I laughed at a few of the lines in this. It bounced along quite nicely. Forgive the pun. But, I enjoyed it. I struggled with a rating for this. I really struggled.
Chris!
I struggled because it's shit, but I like it.
Oh,
so, I gave it 2.5 bouncy boobs in a hole in the wall out of 5.
How in the hell can you do that?
Because I had fun with it. I came away and I went, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I could put that, you could get a house full of friends around, a few beers, let's stick this shit film on, have a look at this. And we'd sit and laugh at it.
Oh, God.
What did you give it?
I gave it a half a boob, sorry.
Fucking hell, no, it's worth more than that. There's a heart to this film.
Half a bouncy boob, sorry.
Half a bouncy boob. You disgust me. Do you understand the concept of cult films?
I do. I do.
So you didn't enjoy this at all? You didn't come away from it and say that was shit, but it was fun?
No.
And you would rather watch people wandering around a wood with a video camera than that?
Yes.
Fucking hell.
Yes, I would.
I don't understand you.
Yes, I would, brother.
I don't get that at all. What's wrong with you?
I must have fallen as a young child, dude.
Bloody hell. Oh well, there you go. Takes all sorts, I suppose. Right then, shall we wrap up?
Yes!
On that
Let's
note,
stick a fork in this thing.
That's Microwave Massacre anyway. Yeah, if you're an Arrow collector, it's a nice looking little package to get. But
right.
The film it takes a specific kind of taste to really enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, it does. And you know what? I'm sure that there's a lot of films I love that you can't stand, other than the found footage ones, okay? All right?
Want me to write a fucking list?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. If you're of a mindset to enjoy really bad films, then yeah, this is one of them. And like I say, it looks nice, and I came away laughing, so there you go. Right then, let's wrap this up then. So, if you want to get in contact with us, you can do so via Twitter, ancient_slumber. Myron and I are both on there individually. I'm at Horrorsmith, and you are?
MASCHEM67.
Oh, yes. We're also both on Letterbox, and you can get us via the email ancientslumberpodcast@gmail.com. And please do go to iTunes and leave us some reviews on there, because it gets us up the rankings and we can compete with some other people instead of going around and hitting them over the head. So, next time, we ran a poll on our Twitter feed for the next 3 shows. We said, do you want us to do Friday the 13th or do you want us to do Halloween? And you have spoken.
Paranormal Activity.
Fuck off. The people have spoken, and they've done the opposite one to what you and me wanted to do. But there we go. The people have spoken. And so for show 17, we are delving into Halloween.
Nice.
So we will do.
Go
on.
I absolutely. We'll get to how I feel about Halloween.
Well, I hope so. Don't say now, otherwise there's no point recording the next show, is there?
That's right. We're going to do the zombie ones too, right?
Well, let me lay it out for you. Show 17, we will do Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Yes?
Yes.
Show 18, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6. Show 19, H2O, Resurrection, the 2 Rob Zombies. And then a nice surprise for show number 20, which I'm not saying yet.
We really want to do those 4 like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Why not? Well, the first 3 make up a nice little, the original Halloween thing.
Yep.
Then you've got 4, 5, and 6, which are a trilogy unto themselves.
Yes.
H2O.
Then you got 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Which are by themselves, and then you got the zombie ones.
Yeah. We can do all them in one show. Because we won't do anything else with them.
All right. I can get on that. All right. I'm fine with that.
Well, good for you. We may even shove in next time another Blu-ray review. How about Dead End Driving?
Okay. Got that film. We'll do it.
Yep, I've got it as well. It's getting a Blu-ray release from Arrow. So yeah, next show, Halloween 1, 2, and 3, plus a review of Dead End Driving. Fantastic. Sounds like a show.
Yes, it does.
Anything else to add?
I think we're good.
I think we're good as well. So, until next time, we'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Wouldn't it be better if you put her someplace?
Do you mean an institution? A madhouse? People always call a madhouse someplace, don't they? Put her in someplace.
I didn't mean to sound uncaring.
What do you know about caring? Have you ever seen the inside of one of those places? The laughing and the tears and the cruel eyes studying you? My mother in there? But she's harmless. She's as harmless as one of these stuffed birds.
I'm sorry. I only felt
You felt what?
It seemed that she's hurting you. I meant well.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues, and they shake their heads, and they suggest, oh, so very delicately. Of course, I've suggested it myself. And I hate to think about it. She needs me.
You're sure you won't have a sandwich?
Pardon?